All right, now let's create our presentation. So I'm just going to go to templates, presentation under business. And there are tons of options with different themes, for different purposes, finance, listing, whether it's a pitch deck, it's for education. You can select a presentation and it will show you the slides. And you could, when you click on customize this template, it's just going to open it for you in Canva like this. And it tells you how many pages. So 10 pages. But I'm going to start off with a blank presentation and then customize it later on. So there we go. Just be careful of the size if you're looking for a 16:9 or something smaller. And I highly suggest that you guys take advantage of all the templates. If you were to start from scratch, it would be very difficult and time consuming because we're working with such a big space and we need multiple slides. And as you can see, each slide has harmony when it comes to the shapes, how the shapes go with each other, the little details, these lines, the page number, the placement. So take advantage of this. Of course, customize it and cater it to your brand, but it's always a good idea to use some of the pre-made templates. And I just want to show you guys that once you scroll down here, you can see, for example, company. Let's say I really like this one. I don't need to apply all 23 pages. I could just apply the page that I like, for example, this one. And when I come here, click on the 3 stars, it'll tell me the keywords. I can star it. I can just apply the style only. So let's say I really like this slide, but I like this style. I can apply style only. Or let me choose something that's slightly more different. So, for example, this. And then here, apply style only. The fonts will go and the color changes. So you could totally do that. And a great thing to do is to go through these and pick out your favorites, use them for inspiration, and once you find the ones that you do like, star them. So for example, this one's quite nice. I like the circles that have been used here. I might use that later on. And now I'm going to go to the things that I have starred. Delete these. And start by bringing the ones that I want to use. So for example, that one, this chart, this chart. Let's take a look at the elements. This is really nice. All right, and I also want some components from this slide. Remember, you could always delete things later on. Don't be too strict about what you choose right now. Just pick the ones that you like. All right. So now let's get to customizing. For the front page, I'm going to show you guys how to do it from scratch. And you can apply these techniques throughout the entire presentation. So the first one is I want a background and I want to create something like, let's say this one. So, having an image that's a little faint and then having a body of text or the logo in front of it. I want to create something like this, but more customized and more catered to my brand. So I'm going to start with a blank page. bring it all the way to the front. And I'm going to go to Elements, search for a picture. You can, of course, upload your own. I'm just going to search agriculture, go to photos. And I really like this one. All right. And then, so I don't want it to be this vibrant. And that means I want to have my logo appear on like a lighter element, almost like a shadow. I want there to be a box of shadow and my logo on top of it. So elements, and I could try with a box. Let me just, all right, turn this into a similar color and lower the transparency. Or make it a little lighter. I think I like this color. All right. And then now, the brand identity that we made, I'm just going to come here and bring over, so let me just name this presentation draft. And I'm going to paste it. Center it. Okay. And I'm going to bring my logo as well. This is the one without the background. So these guys have backgrounds. If you want to use one of these, use a free background remover to remove the background. But if you've saved just the text version, you don't really need to do that. Paste it here. There we go. All right, I'm going to change the background color into like a cream color. Enlargen this. Okay, I'm going to go to Effects, lift it a little bit. Okay. And I also want to write a little slogan. So I want to use this font. Gonna ungroup. Bring it over here. I'm gonna write fighting food waste. Okay, so this is one way, but I'm kind of questioning the box here because the edges are too neatly cut and I want something that's a little more rustic, so I'm going to duplicate the page and try to do one by changing the shape. So I'm going to search paint stroke. I'm going to bring two shapes, or this one could work. All right, get rid of that one. Send it back. And we're going to do the same thing. Now I can compare and see which, well, this is darker, so let me just. I can see which one I like more. I think I'm going to stick with this one. So I'm just going to delete this, and I could copy this again. Bring it down here in case there's something I need to write about copyright. Make it much smaller, so I'm just going to write copyright 2022. Bring it to the center. And I could add some a lift or background so it's seen better. All right, so this could be the front page. I can add any additional information. And then here, I can start by either changing the text, font, or the color here. So that's really important for me. And as you can see, Canva already picks up the colors of my logo. So I can edit the chart. There we go. All right. And then same for this one. So this feature, the graphs, you can't, sometimes with elements, you could change each single color. So let's say this illustration. I could come and change the, whites into the yellow and the blacks into green, but sometimes an element, you can't really do that. You could just give it a theme and how you would like most of the colors to look like. What temperature almost. So this is more warm, and I could change it to a row, chart, bar chart, and so on and so forth. There we go. So I'm going to leave these alone for now. And then I'm going to come here. So this yellow already goes really well with my color palette. I'm going to try to turn the background into that green and turn the text into either yellow, white, and just play around with the features. And remember, for small things such as the page number or an arrow, you want to keep a consistent theme. So that's why you want to apply this throughout all your pages if you do decide to have one. All right, so this is one way that I can customize a slide. But now I want to show you guys how to create the page after your front page, which could be like a statement piece or a quote. So I'm going to duplicate this page or even start from blank. So and bring another image. So let's say vegetables. So I want to include a quote that's meant to fight against food waste. There we go. Again, I want to do the same technique, layering technique that I did here. Shapes. Turn it into maybe the same dark green. Lower the transparency. Or I could do it for half the page as well. half the page or just leaving a thin border or the whole page. And then I'm gonna come here and write okay, I really like this. Add a body of text. I'm going to use one of the fonts that I've saved. Ungroup this to erase anything extra. And so I could either Google quotes about quotes fighting food waste. All right, so I'm going to stick with the first one. Respect for food is a respect for life, for who we are and what we do, by Thomas Keller. So I'm going to use this quote. Respect for food is a respect for life. Life. Make it a little smaller. It makes us who we are and what we do. There we go. Now let's see. So this is all caps lock. I'm going to remove that. Turn it into that yellow. Make it a little larger. Maybe I can try neon effect to make it stand out more. Thomas Keller. Making that white and adding a lift. Making it bold. Maybe this should be a little lighter. Or I think I'm just going to stick to that green. Let's see, maybe I can add a filter or leave it as it is, actually. All right. So now that I have that, I'm going to continue with using similar elements to what I have here to customize the rest of the slides. So, for example, let's say I want to make a table of content. I am going to choose one of the slides or bring in a new one. Let's say, for example, this one. All right, I'm going to make this table of content or index. All right, there we go. So actually, this element is a great example of what I mentioned previously. Some icons you could change each part of it into the color you desire, but other ones not really. So it just depends on which element you use. I'm gonna erase this. I'm gonna bring this down. Let's see. play around a little with the fonts. Don't really like the B. Maybe I'll continue with the farm to table, which is a Signica, which is the Signica font. So much better. I'm just going to go to the spacing and add a little more space to it. Okay, so one thing that I want to try is to use this circular paint stroke in here as well. So I'm just going to bring this here, the third slide. I'm just going to enlarge it and make it that green. So I'm trying my best to keep a common theme here. And maybe I could try and bring a frame, circular one, enlarge it. And this could have something yellow, so maybe corn. Photo of corn. Sure, this could work. One thing that I do want to try for the background is to see if I can kind of change this super plain white into something more rustic. So I'm thinking like a paper background almost. Something like that. Send it back. To kind of imply, you know, paper also gets wasted pretty easily these days. So I thought that it would make sense. But I am looking for one that's slightly a lighter color. How is this? That has too much of a red undertone. I'm going to select the image, go to edit, and adjust the brightness to make it lighter. And lower the contrast. Saturation. Tint, add a little bit more warmth. So I'm going to bring this back here. Warmth, vibrance, keep it low. Let's try fade. No. All right. I think this is good for now. And I could use similar features such as these throughout my design, actually. Send this back. And remember, you could always erase them and change them. So right now, I made this really rustic. So it's a combination of natural elements and graphics. So that's why I'm feeling like the neon wouldn't go so well with this. So maybe I'll just turn it into a brighter yellow and just add a lift. Make it bold. Okay. There we go. And now for this one, I like the scribble here, but it is animated. One thing about animated files is that when I come to download, and I download it, it'll be static, so it wouldn't be moving that much. And this is a bit of a problem because I can't decide which position it freezes in. So it might be all the way, sometimes it's halfway. It's good to find alternatives. So if you are looking for a static element or icon, go with that actually. So let me try and see what I find. Scribble. This arrow is quite nice. Maybe I could use it later on. Let's go to Magic Recommendations. Could work, but it's not as pretty as the animated one. So I'll just leave it there, and then if it froze in a way that I didn't like, I'll change it later on. Okay, so far so good. Here I think I'm also going to add the paper background. So again, paper, and I'm gonna star this. I can bring this in like this, or just copy what I did here so I don't have to edit it again. And I'm just going to keep that for half the page because I want to keep a balance of graphics used and natural elements that have been used. So I'm just going through, noticing that this green is different from this green. I'm going to change that. So this is brighter. This is a little darker. There we go. And it's the same green here. All right, I'm going to leave that be. This page, maybe I can add something different. So let me come back to elements. Maybe I could try using that paper design for the bottom. Only the bottom part. And up here, could be maybe a photo related to agriculture again. So let me try that. Or food. Vegetables, probably. Let me try to look for... All right, this could work. Although it's too crowded. I'm going to replace this text. Okay, actually, I need to make the background brighter. There we go. All right, and now on to the next slides.